Yeah. So, so welcome, ladies. It's my turn.
Yes, you're on your call.
So freaking excited. Oh my gosh.
Okay. So who's recording?
I'm recording.
Kavita,
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to get you to do, because we want to just kind of get in the moment here, is I want to play the music, if you haven't listened to it already, from that was actually created somewhere historically in the, I think it was 3/4 time is what they told me, in order to bring the energy of Master Saint Germain forward. It's actually documented out there. And so I just want you to listen, and then I'm gonna turn it down, and then I'm just gonna say an opening, and then I'll say, okay, open your eyes.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So we're closing our eyes.
Yep. Can you hear it?
Yes.
So I would ask you to take a gentle breath in through your nose and then let it out through your mouth. And one more through the nose and out through the mouth. And I place a platinum dome around us today. We call in our master teachers, our spirit guides, elementals, angelic, any of those of the light, and only those of the light, to come forward with messages today of love and light and guidance for Kavita and Astrid. And we call forward Master Saint Germain and Merlin, who we know are one and the same, with guidance for both. Thank you, and so it is. And you may open your eyes. So, I don't know if did you feel like the tingles as soon as I turned the music on? And that's the thing that that music can do is, as soon as he's been around all day. I was doing a specific meditation with him earlier. And I was just saying to Kavita, I was like floating. I had to go eat something because I needed to ground myself, which I don't normally need to do before I do a drawing. So the thing with Master Saint Germain is, if you want to talk about the rays, he is the master of all rays, but he started off the 7th and worked his way backwards as opposed to at number 1 and worked forwards. And so he has is known that he travels back and forth in time. And that's one of the reasons why people get, even me, I had to reread some information because I always got confused of, was he Merlin first? Was he Master Saint Germain first? And of course, there's a whole big list of, in theology, of, or the theosophical information that is really about how he could move forward back in time. So it actually started as Saint Germain, but then moved back into Merlin. So it's interesting. So these crystals will be included in your crystal packages, and that is they invite Master Saint Germain into your meditations, into your life. And whether it's Master Saint Germain or Merlin, the three actually work together. So the amethyst, which is facilitates the meditation and communication with your angels and spirit guides, and it is the original healing crystal from way back. And then the iolite, which is inner vision and shamanic journeying, healing old wounds, past life, soul retrieval, and balancing and protection. Hematite is about the grounding, so making the spiritual into physical, and it's just really the three combined together. If you can meditate with them, then interesting things happen.
I love that.
Yeah, that's all I could say.
Yeah, no, when I first started, I wanted to share with the meditation that you did. I was instantly seeing the golden lines and the grids, and I didn't have the sensation of feeling, which is usually what I would get, but I got the whole lot of visual. And of course, this is my phone's,
yeah.
right? So it's like I was just seeing it in all gold and all, the amethyst color. And it's the same amethyst crystal that I use when I connected to my first spirit guide. So
cool. Yeah.
I just got a small visual of an arch in kind of violet light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the thing is that the guides come through in terms of how I see them, the way that they want to be represented to each individual person. So I have drawn Saint Germain has come through before, Merlin has come through before, but even that, I can tell you that the energy is different, and the vision that I see for them, for you two, is different. So that is just simply that they show me how they want to be. They draw how they want to see. And of course, having said that, because I know it'll come up, is they always like to be depicted on the page younger than what I actually see them. So the wrinkles kind of disappear, and I go, "Hey, wait a minute! You look a lot older than that." But it's like,
there vanity in heaven? I thought it's a human trait.
So Merlin is presenting himself first out of the need.
Out of the need.
And this whole thing about Merlin, about the magic, and being able to turn something that nobody else can see, or nobody else can see the potential. That's what you have, Astrid. I mean, both of you, but I'm going to talk right to Astrid, because that's the magical part, is that we each have our own uniqueness, but lots of people in this world, in the physical, have a very difficult time imagining, creating, taking it from here out to here, right? Out, bringing it into the physical. I got this nice little fly flying around here. Don't know where he came from. Given that we've had snow and frost and cold, although it has been nicer, but
Lois, can I ask you a question?
Yes, absolutely.
So I don't want to interrupt your flow or anything. Keep
No,
going.
no, you just go right ahead because they just keep going.
Cool. So I'm curious. I did a collage before of several ascended masters, and Marilyn was one of them. And I have it here. I don't want to interrupt your flow, but I'm curious if in this session would be a cool time or a good time to show it, and if he has a message or if you have any feedback, what you're getting from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can do that once I get going here.
Yeah, let me know if there's a spot for that.
Yeah. And actually he does. He absolutely invites you to at any time ask questions. I think what he's asking first off is he's going to throw this back at you. If you could have a magical wish, but he actually doesn't want you to do one magical wish. He would ask that you think about 3 magical wishes.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
So you can give that some thought as I.
So wishes as to how I can do something, or wishes for something to happen?
If you need help in an area, if you have questions about something specifically, he's happy to
yes, I do. I will go with the first that just pops in mind. Let me see if I word it right. It revolves around the next level soulmate clients that me and Kavita and Jean are meant to serve. Is there anything I need to know or do differently at this time to help them connect with us and also get abundantly paid?
Okay. When you say connect with you, you mean that these are people that you have not met or connected with?
Possibly. They may be in a circle and we don't know them.
Okay.
But basically that connection.
Yeah. Well, he says that is sometimes what that whole part of that magical, your ability, like your visioning ability to bring it forward. But interesting enough, as I draw him, it's almost like he's a little bit lopsided. As in, I can only see he's facing me this way, but he's kind of slightly, I thought he was straight on as the pencil was moving, and then as I sort of sit back and look, I go, oh, he's almost kind of slightly turned a bit, or his one side is narrower than the other side. And what he tells me is there's something that isn't quite balanced in not what you're doing or even how you're doing, but in your life. So it's almost like you're fine tuning.
Yes.
And you need to fine tune. He's actually showing me, like those big bass, is that what they're called? Where they sit in front of them and play.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Okay. Is that called the bass?
I'm not, there's one of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know what you mean though.
It's almost like there's some strings that are not tuned. Not tuned, and so it's about tuning in. And maybe it's he says the frequency and the vibration, and so the frequency has to be adjusted so that you're getting the right vibration in how you're sending it out. He says you will understand that more than I don't, but
I get it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Kavita, feel free to say something if you get a hit, like elaboration.
And if he's given you permission, so he's good
Oh,
with
okay.
that.
I'm just saying. Yeah, it's funny. We just had Jean say that to us in other words. Yeah.
That was exactly the thing that I saw to put on the table, and you said it. So.
Okay. And that part of that is a validation, so that you understand not just that he's here, but that you have the power to work with him. And sometimes even though he goes, even though she's mishappy, and you have a lightness around you. You sometimes have to work at that, from letting go of what it was before, right? So whatever that means.
Yeah, I know what that means.
Yeah. So, and he said, in time, it's just like anything else. When you tune it, you're an instrument. When you tune it, and he keeps going back to this instrument about, tuning the strings and checking that vibration level. He also says there's actually something about somebody that's around you that the vibration level affects yours. And he said it's almost like you might even miss it. You might miss the fact that that's what's happening, but he wants you to pay more attention to the people that are around you and how they affect. You're so used to some of them that you actually, because you just love them dearly, that's his phrase, you actually don't recognize it as such. So he said, and it's not that you have to distance yourself. What you may want to do is think about how you can help them with their vibration.
Okay, thank you.
This has come up before too, so I just wanted to remind you, Astrid.
Thank you.
Yeah, and when he shows when that happens, that's that use of the, he says that good old violet flame, that you just, this is all it takes.
Oh, nice.
Done.
So also for other people or for myself or both?
For them, for sure. For yourself, yes. But really, it's about helping them change. See, your vibration is excellent, right? So it's really about helping them shift without them even knowing it. He goes, that's
so great, because I have some stubborn people in my
that's the magical part.
Not listen to anything you want to say. It's like,
yeah.
Okay, that's so great. Thank you.
Okay, so where is it?
So you have 2 more wishes, Astrid.
My goodness. So I have a wish that's in the further future. I'm curious if there's anything, but time isn't linear. So, so my big vision is to travel the world, show up at, I know I'm like a record that keeps repeating. You all have heard this before. To travel the world to amazing places once every month or every 2 months, and just show up to play and change the world by hosting and showing up at retreats with amazing people who are ready to take that and really need that and appreciate that, and all of that. So that's my vision, to do that, and to also have, everything feels like play, work very little, and
Yeah.
have quality time with my dear loved ones, and invite them to travel also, and that kind of thing. So for this next big view, is there anything that I can do now or I must be aware of to shift into that, other than what I'm doing already?
Yeah, well, actually, it's funny because the phrase that you use, because he doesn't want to sound like a broken record.
Sorry.
But part of it's about that, as soon as that vibration, those vibrations. And the thing to remember is that you're attracting people not just by your vibration, but because of their vibration. Even though their vibration may not be resonating as high as yours, there's an attraction there, and it works because they're being attracted to what you're putting out there as a way for them to heal and move forward in their aspirations and their life. So he says that phrase, all things are possible. And the thing is that whole thing of believing in that magic, right? Really, truly, deep down from the core, right? He talks about and is showing me the alchemy, which is about how he turned things from one thing to another because he believed it. And the reason they changed is because of the vibration level. He's really harping on this vibration level. He's like, the reason he
was able to do that is because of the vibration level, or what?
Well, twofold. I believe,
and then you shift the vibration.
I can do this, and then that vibration, it transmuted into that vibration level of being able to change. So, just like those magicians who make an elephant or a bus or whatever it is disappear, people, you can make those same things appear. So he said, it's almost like the reverse. They're going from nothing. They're going from nothing to something greater than. Kavita's got something to say.
No, I'm just giggling because I'm seeing what he's saying, and I know Astrid so well, and I can connect the dots. So yeah, one of the visuals that I got for you to remember this, Astrid. So I'm decoding here for you.
Thank you.
It's the whole thing, a moth is attracted to the flame.
Yeah.
You're the flame. The people are the moth. They're not at your vibration level. And sometimes the moth is attracted to the flame at the moth's detriment. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it's sometimes at your detriment if there are too many moths, because you start to feel into the moth's energy and you feel like you're a moth rather than a flame. So that's why you're being harped so much about your frequency, right? That's why.
So, okay. Thank you, Kavita.
So great. Well, thank you for that.
So here's as you were saying that, he's saying that before people start to change their vibration level, they're in a lower vibration. And he's going to be honest. He goes, not that I'm not dishonest, but I'm telling it like it is.
Yes.
Years ago, if you had somebody in your face all the time that was smiling from ear to ear and you were grumpy and you were having a bad day,
you want to punch
most of the time you'd get really annoyed by it. You'd go, get out of my face, go do your work. So he's just using that as an example. He said, because you have to remember that that you want to attract, again, those people. Yes, you are attracting some that are at that lower vibration, but really those higher end clients are at a higher vibration already. So that is where you're, for whatever reason he's saying that, that's how you want to present. But remember that they're still not at your high vibration. So you have to it's almost like he goes, it's like a magic show. I start with this little thing here and people go, oh, wow. And then you go bigger and they go, oh, that's awesome. I'm in. And then you, right? And so it's not just like, boom.
Uh-huh.
Okay, they're not jumping in. If you want them to jump ship, you're going to have to convince them that the water's a better.
From where they're at, in other words, is that where we're going with this kind of?
Well, it's just really about where they're at,
yeah,
and where you're at, and learning to manage the vibration. And again, I think Kavita is really.
Yeah. The 3 containers we talked about as Astrid. Practically in business, it would be 3 containers. You have them upgrade into each level, because in each container it gets them to raise their vibes and to sustain that so they can take the next level. So it's not about, go ahead.
There's nothing. Yeah. There's no. It's not like, oh, you're doing it wrong. It just simply is, and that's where he says it just simply is that in today's society, people really have to. There is a group of people. There is a lot of the high-end customers, but it's like you need to send that vibration out there, and it can be in the marketing material, it can be in different things, but almost like you have to figure out what they want to see in order for them to go, oh, yay, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So they're a different, here's the comparison. The people that are newbies to the energy and to the healing and to whatever it is, into intuitive stuff, they're happy with almost anything, because it's like, oh, wow, I can do this. And they're right there. But now they're going to get, as their vibrations get higher and they become those other people the group that you're looking for, they are much more selective in where they're going and how they're spending their money. And it's really not about money for them. It really isn't. It's just about they're looking for that vibrational match.
Thank you. I want to give the time for Kavita too, and I can think of a third one if something else comes, because you're giving me so much. Thank you.
Okay, good.
No, Kavita is like crunching.
I'm like, why are you doing this again? Why do you stop?
Well, because it's half past the hour, and I want to make sure you get.
Oh no, don't worry about it. We're good.
Yeah, we're good. Go ahead and do the third one. I'm calling you out. Do your thing.
All right. Thank you, Kavita. Okay, taking the gift. This is funny. I'm feeling like I'm in a joke. I have to make 3 smart wishes, and then I'm not getting stranded on an island with the wrong wish. I don't know if you ladies have heard those jokes before.
Yeah, and he would like to remind you that, remember, you have the magician. You can get off that island real easy.
Exactly. Okay, I feel guided to remind you of something that Lois said, just so that you remember that and have that as a perspective. I love the message that came through, Lois, was that you're the one who make people appear. And this is something that I've told you in my own words, right? You're the one that make people appear, right? I'm not the one that gets people in the room. I can do the magic in the room with you, but I'm not the one that gets them through the door. You have that magical power. I did say that to you. So I want to remind you of that.
Yes, you told me the connector and stuff,
Yes.
but actually making a pair, that's a whole different paradigm of magic that I'm getting into right now.
Exactly.
Well, and isn't that a great team, right?
Yes, yes,
Because you don't want to all be you don't want to be the same. You want to have,
yeah,
and that's almost the importance of doing those levels, 1, 2, 3, right? There's something in that 1, 2, 3, because magicians go 1, 2, 3, abracadabra.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Merlin.
Okay, so, whoa, there's so much stuff in there. That's awesome. Okay, so I feel I want to learn more about this methodology that I heard you talk about. This alchemy of I believe, and the second is the changing the vibration, and then things happen. Is there anything? Go ahead.
Okay, so he says never stop learning and never stop trying different tools, because there's a gazillion out there, to raise your vibration, to raise it. And as you do different meditations, do different, whatever it is, he said, and he'll lead you to them. You got to do the work, right?
Yeah.
But what that does is it provides you with more tools for your toolbox to really remember when I said he was kind of lopsided? What those tools are going to do is just really get you balanced and fine-tuned, just like that musical instrument.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that have you read any books on actually we talked about that. Did I tell you about the alchemy of
I don't remember the alchemy one. I got the violet flame one.
Well, the humanour, and then there's the alchemy of Master Saint Germain. Do you have that one, Kavita? Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up.
He's just commenting on that. But he said whether it's that or he really just he would invite you to actually experience the difference in your energy, not energy, vibration level. If you try something different, okay, so I do this meditation and I do this mantra and I do this and I do that. Okay, how about doing something totally different? He says, do something totally different and see, now you got a comparison.
Okay.
And actually it's interesting because they've been showing me that for the last few weeks, is step out of where you're comfortable with all this. You've learned a lot. You do this, try something different.
Okay.
Because here's the deal. The energy in the earth is constantly changing. The vibration level of the earth.
Can I ask a part B of that question on Astrid's behalf?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So one of the things I've noticed with her is that I love her willingness and curiousness and learning and stuff. But the part where I feel a little bit the need to call her out is it's when she learns all this stuff and then she wants to teach all this stuff to everybody else. And I'm like, but all that stuff is there to serve you. And it's not, and I just try to remind her of her focus, of her big magic, and rather than using all the tools, because it has brought magic to her. She's trying to give that to everybody else, right? As her toolbox. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know I'm doing that. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So totally. He says, and actually it's very interesting that you say that, because here's a quick a quickie rundown. I have 4 masters in Reiki. I have a 2-year crystal resonance program for healing. I have spiritual healing. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm not being disrespectful. He's allowing me to say this. The thing is, then I got the art, the drawing, and I went, what the heck is that? Because I'm supposed to be a healer. And I got told, and it took a long time to make that connection, is all that stuff you did was for your own healing. You don't
Okay, thank you.
You are healing people within your artwork. But boy, I fought.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
But I spent this money and I did this and I did that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So those are absolutely all tools for you to pull out. And guess what? Every single person is learning different. So it's great that you have all these tools, because that person may not respond to that tool.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go, oh, wait a minute. I know.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. Good perception there.
And I feel that Kavita really spotted that that the whole visual, like sigils and using healing with drawing, and that really seems to feel powerful as a core for me. I really feel that personally too. Kavita spotted that just now, that she feels this is coming together for me. That is my go-to sort of core. Is he validating that? Like,
well, I'll tell you what he validates all the things that you have done to date and all the things that you are currently doing. And things will change as the vibration changes.
Oh, okay.
They'll change accordingly. And as you grow it's almost like he says, as you grow in that artistic side, you become more intuitive. And that's that circle of, I meditate, I become more intuitive, I become more creative. The more creative I become, the more intuitive I am, and the higher my vibration goes. And it's a full circle, but it's a full circle spiraling up. So as you go on and keep going and keep going, you may think you're at the same spot, but in fact, you've gone way up.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, super okay, thank you.
All righty.
Kavita, you have the ball, and I'm not taking it back.
Here he is.
Yeah, the complete.
Oh my gosh.
He's got mauve eyes. He had me color his eyes purple.
I love it.
Wow, that's so amazing. Thank you.
And he has this it's hard to see, but it's like it's a sacred jewel. And it's a rectangle, but then the facets go down. And so when you get this, he said that would be a good shape of a stone for you to wear. So if you look, and what I will do is I have a collection from my crystal resonance program of cabochons.
Cabochon, yeah.
And I'll just see if there happens to be any in that shape. And if there is, then I'll send that in your crystal, because I'm never probably going to do anything with them. That put them in them boxes.
Yes.
So I'll take a picture of him and text it, or put it on Messenger for you as well.
Thank you.
Okay, so you have your homework, my dear.
I have a homework?
Well, that is. You got lots of homework there.
I will, yes, I
I'm
will
sure you
rewatch
will
it
help
and
you with it.
play with it.
I'll help you remember and work through
I
it.
took notes.
Okay, hang on.
You want to see the collage that I did, or should I share it?
Oh yes, please. Yeah.
So it's actually on the shrine up here, kind of. This is the one I did for Merlin.
Oh, that's very cool. So I'm trying to see what the crystal,
So,
are they like crystals or beads?
those are beads.
Okay.
Yeah, blue, gold, clear, and this one has like dimensional facets underneath so
Yeah.
that it sparkles through. And there's purple here, and here, and I was half intuitively picked. Oh, and there's a violet here, and I had no idea about all that stuff before. And this showed up here, a D
Yeah.
and a D right here. It's like this place being in different places at the same time and time jumping. And then this raven card showed up intuitively. And it says 3 red behind it. I don't know. And then there's a fairy tale piece that came out as like very layered and like a star kind of in the middle shape.
So is that a specific fairy tale?
That one was Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty?
And people slept on as the days stretched into weeks. The palace slept on. Wow, this is quiet. Yeah, so that was, intuitive collage. Yep.
Very cool. I love doing stuff. That's just like doing the mixed media, right? Never quite know what I'm doing there till it all gets together. Thank you for sharing that.
Give me a minute. I got to open the door for my in-laws.
Okay. Yeah, do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he once he does that? Does he have any sort of message? Because that was inspired by him. As I like to kind of celebrate my connection with Merlin somehow.
Yeah. Well, what I'm going to do is I will send you a page that I give out to people on connecting with your spirit guide.
Ooh.
And I know you guys, feel them and do lots of stuff, but this is really a specific process with connection through the eyes, which is why the eyes are important as I draw them. And so I'll put that on Messenger too.
Yeah, thank you so much for anything, Lois.
Yeah. Yeah, he's that's kind of wild. Yeah, he has his scepter or whatever that is.
So are you shifting to Saint Germain now, or?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So I'm just gonna. I'll just get going.
Yes, please do. And I will hop off on the hour because I have another call, but Kavita.
Yeah. No, that's great. And I'm trying to I was giving some thought to the paintings, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had done some homework on the plexiglass, the non-scratching or scratch resistant, I guess is what I should call it. So I'm just not sure if I should do it on that or if I should
follow
do it
whatever
on the
guidance you feel inspired by is perfect. Yeah.
Well, I almost think I want to do like a painting that's mixed media, because the mixed media allows the texture and that I can also embed crystals in there. And so that's kind of where I was headed with that.
So since Kavita is currently not present, I wonder if I should see if I have a question in.
Well, actually, that's a good thing.
For her.
So maybe you should just do you have any questions that you think she needs answered?
Right, I'm trying to think. So, yes, so I know one. I'm curious with her older daughter, Kavita. They have an interesting sort of journey together where
Yeah.
it's complicated. I wonder if he has any guidance for her
Okay.
on that.
Okay. All right. Well, I will. I'll make sure that I'm sure he will too. Make sure that that's answered.
And so this concerns all of us. I mean, Kavita and me and Jean too. And I feel this will serve also as a question for Kavita regarding spirit marketing. So
Okay.
I already approached it with a vibrational question, right, for the ideal clients to come. But the question is there another piece in terms of something that we can do or where we show up to connect with dream clients? Any sort of marketing, spirit marketing guidance? Kavita, I put out 2 questions for you. One was around you and Savita. Any guidance? And she's just taking questions right now. And the second one I put, but you can change it. I was wondering for marketing if you had any, like anything where we need to be showing up or anything, any doing. Spirit marketing guidance. That's what I was suggesting as a question for you to him. So, but you take it from here. She hasn't answered yet. I was just throwing out things.
No.
So there's one that I put there in the chat,
Yes.
and it's just because I wouldn't be able to say it out loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
As you can.
Yes, I can elaborate if you want me to.
Yeah, because that's good. Go ahead.
Yeah. So her husband woke up
Mhm.
this morning and he had. I'm just gonna go in detail. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he had blood in the stool, and there any guidance as to which doctor is good or what to do or no.
Well, what he says is that definitely, ask specifically to be connected to the right doctor that can tackle with ease and grace the exact. So it's like that connection. You're asking for that connection.
She's already doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, so excuse me, that's a message there. So yes, he must not not pay attention to it.
Right.
And I'm sure he is paying attention to it.
Yeah.
But he needs to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And so don't let him get away with the guy thing.
Yes. I definitely felt that. I was asking that question this morning. Is that the sign now to be like, I can be firm with this? So,
yes.
So thank you.
And obviously there's that he says, I have no doubt that we're going to direct him to the right place.
For sure.
Right? Because you've already put that out you've put the call out.
Yeah. Literally.
Awesome. I love how this is so easy and and magical. Yeah. So the first one, too, that you said for me, Astrid, I'm okay with asking that one. So you can repeat that one.
Yeah.
So you want me to say it again?
Yeah.
So basically, I just said that there's a complicated relationship thing happening with Kavita and her daughter.
How old is she?
9, is that right? 8.
Mm-hmm.
8 going on 14.
That's what it feels like with her personality. She just behaves, do that 14-year-old thing.
and he shows me like a big heart. So when you come at it from a place of love, you know, then they respond better than a place of, here's the thing, especially with children and raising children, is they're also very different. And so sometimes we egos as parents, we try and sort of fit them into this is how, and not consciously, more, that's, it's almost more of an unconscious, because we're just doing, we don't, he goes, we don't get training on it. Like, we're not trained. We might get some education, you know, okay, I'm going to read this book on parenting and this one and this one. But he said the reality is it's about the experience. And so, number one, he says, if you feel that she, right, that she would benefit from that outside person to talk to, then you find somebody that's exactly. And almost like he's showing me, he actually just showed me like a painter's palette, like a palette, whether it's like art therapy or something on that, where they're actually becoming more and more, and I don't know about your area, but they are becoming more common, where they do the art therapy, and it actually really allows them just to open up, and through their art, if there's,
nice,
you know, they need help.
I think I already told you you would be the perfect fit for the kids.
Right. Oh my gosh.
So anyway,
Right.
I look around here and see.
And not only that is like he says, please don't limit yourself. He says you're working with intuition, and part of it is that that they are getting that through osmosis. Okay, so he just asked the question, is she biologically your daughter?
Yes.
Okay, so we just want to be really clear on that. Is that she's very intuitive already, and so she's showing signs of, here's the thing is, they display it differently because they don't understand. They cannot understand from an adult perspective. They can only understand from a child perspective. So their brain, 9 years old, so you know what I'm getting at, is they view it from that way. So that's exactly, it's almost like you need to come down to her age group and go, oh yeah, now I get it, right? Much as we there was something on Facebook this morning that I think I tagged my daughter in. She has 2 boys and a 4.5-year-old, and the 4.5-year-old girl is is really going to give her a run for her money. And I'm going, oh, payback. Yay. But what it reminded me personally of was that need to really to you raise them with love and kindness, right? That's exactly what you raise them with. And when you raise them from that aspect.
Oh, what happened to my internet? Okay. Is it working? Are you hearing me?
There you are. So it's kind of like, you know, do you learn visually? Do you learn auditory? And so it's kind of similar in that you're just going to do some searching as to how can she
What kind of learner
respond?
she is. Yeah.
Yes.
I have to pop off in a minute. Kavita, was there
Yeah.
something else that you want me to be a voice for you for?
No, I'm good. I can
You
say the
good?
rest. Yeah, I
Okay.
can say the rest. So it was just the
I will catch the remaining replay then.
thank
Bye.
you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Lois
Okay.
and Kavita. It
Thank
was
you
so
too.
magical. And Merlin.
You're welcome.
Yes.
By the way, this is really funny. Look at this. Like, this is one of the books that is like
Oh, look at that. Awesome.
propping up the
Awesome.
screen.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, and we'll speak soon.
Okay. Bye. Love
Maybe
you.
we'll think about the
Bye.
pricing, or soon we will have to pay you.
Yeah, thank you for
Okay.
that. Thank you for that. It makes sense and it validates. Well, like when I told Astrid when she came here, she would be offering us that gift of that inner child playfulness
Mhm.
because I know as a parent sometimes I'm a bit too like stern of hey you gotta get these habits right. So
Um, yeah, and there's also you could, you know, the kind of does she ever go? Do you ever put her into like is she in extracurricular things?
she was until we got here. Right
Okay.
now we're like figuring out the finances. So
Right.
I do know that's her zone of genius and it lights her up. And I'm aware of the creative part and the art. Um, I'm aware of all these things for her as a partnership for both of us. In
Yeah.
terms of my other half, where he's not always on board, like he doesn't see the
Yeah.
necessity of it, but for me, I see what lights her soul up, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, because it's almost like uh, even like just to find what she resonates with. It's almost like finding out what, you know, how we go through this process of what do I really resonate with me. You know, we don't all like the same thing. We don't like the same ice cream, and we don't some people don't, like my husband doesn't even like chocolate uh, because he doesn't like it, and so we can't force him to like it, right? He might take a bite just to please somebody, but you don't want that with the kids. So it's finding out what resonates with her. And the cool thing is, there's so much stuff online. The coloring books
Mm-hmm.
that you can download.
Mandala. Mm-hmm.
That is just perfect because there's all sorts of things that are free and available and can help just tap into, for you, you're intuitive. You tap into, would this be a good thing for her to do? And if you get yes, and maybe ask her, what would you, how would you see the day being? You know, what would you like to do? And yeah, so if she is at all on the creative side, um, that really is an indicator to me of intuitiveness.
Yeah, for both of them, highly.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I
And
got it.
yeah.
I got it. Thank you. I think it feels complete for those two questions. I think that
Okay.
the third one would be around the business stuff. Like, I already know where I'm already having the outcome in terms of the experiences, in terms of the feeling, in terms of what it is ideally for me as well. But there is still that part in me that feels like I'm still hiding that brilliance, hiding that power, hiding the ability
Yeah.
to make the money. I don't know why it is that I'm in a way,
Well,
denying myself of making the numbers I can make.
yeah, he said because historically, he said, first off, he said the first thing that he says to me is because traditionally,
1 second though.
yeah,
So you can't be what? The sensor's not working? Yeah, I know that tends to happen. This is my older one. Say hello.
Hi,
hi, how are you?
I'm okay.
What grade are you in?
4.
4? Oh my gosh. What kind of things are you learning?
Math and reading and writing and maybe science.
What's your favorite?
Math and reading.
Did you say you like
Oh,
music?
nice.
Did you like music?
Yeah, but that's for special class.
That's okay. That's your special.
Oh, and then there's also music for 2 weeks, science for Spanish for 2 weeks, PE for 2 weeks, and science for 2 weeks, and keeps going on. And I like music the best and science. Then
Do you like drawing and stuff too? Do you like art?
kind of.
Kind of. What do you like about it? Makes you happy?
Makes you get to be creative.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Well, you would love my art room. I have a great art room, and I have lots of kids that come and go and do artwork, and they're very creative. We do all sorts of cool things in the summer, and I have a fairy garden out back and a waterfall in my yard, and we put the fairies out there and all the little statues and the houses and crystals and lots of cool stuff out there.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, and they get to play out there.
I can't do much about it right now. Can you do something else? Find something else? Netflix? Yeah.
That's I always find it interesting because when you ask what the favorite is, it's like, oh my God, a question. I don't know.
Like, what answer do you want to hear? Yeah, you were telling me about the numbers at that point, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, he goes, where were we?
I was asking about the finances and the business.
Yes. Okay. He says, as much as we try to clear and let go and release and, intuitively let go of what does not serve us anymore, we also still have some of these. He says the first thing is that traditionally females were paid less than males, right? And that was and it still is. There still is a lot of places that still, in different countries, even in the US and Canada. We're still kind of working from it's almost like they do say that, so today, like in the present, when we heal, I do a lot of work with the grandmothers and the Native population in terms of doing grandmother days where we do healing and drumming and things. And if we heal ourselves today, we heal 7 generations behind us and 7 generations forward. And so hi, how are you?
She's enjoying what you're saying.
Beauty. Oh my gosh, you're so cute. And I love the color of your shirt.
It matches yours, right?
It matches yours, right?
Yes. Look at that. I see some ears on the shirt. I'm not quite sure what's on there. Is that a mouse or? How cute.
Actually, yours is a little bit purple.
It's ratatouille? Is that what you said?
No, she said, actually, your shirt is a little bit purple. She's curious about your shirt. And
yeah, it's kind of bright. I love purple. That's my favorite color.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
So it's a process of releasement, not just releasement, but just moving forward. It's that jumping into that unknown. And oh my gosh, he says so many of the entrepreneurs and the intuitives, he goes, they're all in a big, he's kind of putting the whole, like a big umbrella out there that don't, it's not that they don't value their services, they question when they're putting it out, they're going, oh, well, should I charge that? Well, start high, you can always go down. That's his attitude is you believe that this is a value and that's what you put it out there for. He's actually just asking me, would you pay attention to this as well, Lois?
So we both have homework. Okay.
So, you know, much as what he goes, much as what many people, and he goes, many people being all the people that are doing these, you know, talk about $6-figure $1 million programs, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't happen. The majority of times it doesn't happen like that. And so it's about merging, and he just feels like that the team that you have, you know, between you and Kavita, and if there's another person, but really that is the advantage that we just need to recognize where we fall. And it's not a detriment. It's where do we not excel? We excel in this, and this. And that's where I need to put my energy and efforts and stop trying to be everything to everybody. Does that make sense for you? Because you cannot be everything for everybody, because you'd be way too busy trying to do that.
For sure. It's almost as if I'm like so selective that sometimes I don't even put myself out there.
Yeah. Okay. So I get that. From my perspective, I get that. Or you think, here's the thing. Many people think that, well, if I just put it out to spirit or put it out to the creator or put it out to whoever it is that I put it out to, and I say, oh, bring me the clients that I'm supposed to have. You're putting it all in their ballpark. There's nothing wrong with that, except you must co-create. You have to be a co-creator of what you want. So, you know, what you think you create, what you say you create, what you do you create. And so be the co-creator. You have the ideas, you have the, you know, everything is lining up. And it's almost like he did this, it's like that Jenga game, you know, where you try and pull this out and don't let it tumble and pull this out. Well, actually, no, you need the foundation. You're building that foundation, and now you're ready to start, you know, you're putting it on and putting on. And what kind of a building do you want? I want a high-end building. I want to attract the people that really, you know, and that's what you're putting out there. And yeah, we kind of line up with people that will assist us in pushing us a bit, right? And so he says, we all kind of experience that. He says, how do you think, it's almost like he says, how do you think I felt when I said, I'm not going to do Ray 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm starting at the 7th and I'm going backwards.
I know that. I know because for
Yeah,
me too.
you know the story, right?
The thing about it, no, for me too, in terms of the way I operate, is that I also don't start from step one. I start from
Yeah.
that side and I come back this way. It's been the norm.
But here's the advantage of that. If you do that, you're actually you actually have actually have the ability to see where you want it to be, right? Oh, instead of starting at the beginning and go, well, I hope I get 10 clients and I want the high end and a blah blah blah. No, you start at that final step. I visualize a room of 20 people that are high-end clients, and now I'm going to backtrack to what do I need to get them there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your thinking process. And if that is your thinking process, then you use it to your full advantage versus trying to make it. It's kind of like us learning the math, right? Well, we used to do math very differently, and now they're teaching this new math. And we're all, as parents, we're going, I don't even know how to tell my children if that's right or wrong, because all of a sudden they've created this whatever, but yet you get to the same number, right? So that's okay.
Yes.
It's not in school because they get a little cranky about it, but in business, yeah.
I got it. It's perfect.
Yeah, and the other thing he said is really tune into that first event that you had and to the energies that were around there and to what were the successes and what were the, well, that didn't really work out the way I wanted it to, and what could I change from that? And that's that learning experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm.
Okay, questions? Any other questions?
No, actually, I feel complete. You know what's the fun thing about me is that if anybody works with me, they're always saying you're like the most ideal client for everybody because you're like, you get it. Like, even if we try to do meditation with you, you're already like 10 steps ahead. You got this.
Yeah.
And you just fly with the information. So yeah, it was super clear, and I got it, and I know exactly.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he says, have you actually seen him in your meditations? Like, did you connect with him in past?
Oh.
You've done a lot of work with him, right?
There was, okay. So there's a story I gotta tell you. So there was this one time in all my journey, I came across the whole Mount Shasta thing, and I didn't know that it existed until this point. And I just heard the name, and it lit me up so much that I started reading immediately, and I started exploring all the things. And I was so, it was so enchanting for me that I went to sleep that night, and I felt like I literally traveled into that space, and I felt like I was in class all night. I don't know what I was learning, and it went on for the whole night. And the morning when I woke up, I felt that I got the energy of something, but I could never express that into words. And so again, it happened for the second night. And towards the end of it, I was like, but I want to remember something when I woke up. And so when I woke up, I was reminded of my purpose being alchemy. And that was my purpose work, to do alchemy. And I was like, okay, well, apparently my question wasn't so specific, because I'm like, now what? I don't know what to do with that. But of course, over time, it all came together. So
yeah.
So that was my first connection with that, with Saint Germain. But after that, I don't remember any other visual or that level of close connections. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I get sidetracked sometimes. So, yeah, I mean that whole, I'm probably going to get graphite all over here. So
One second. She got a phone, babe. Yeah.
the at nighttime when you can ask Master Saint Germain to come forward and take you to actually what you ask for is that you can be taken safely to the edge of the earth, and that and then you can request, I'd like to go to the halls of whatever. So in your sleep time, you're traveling out and you're asking them to bring that information back. And so I don't know if you and I talked about this before. So if I'm looking for a specific technique, say I wanted to learn something, an artist technique, that's exactly what I do. I would ask them to take me to the halls of artistic learning. Mm-hmm. And then the next day when I'm in my studio, I start to do something and I can do it. And I go, I don't know how I figured that out because I didn't look at any videos, or it just comes, right? And I know that they're leading that, but and certainly they lead my pencil, but they also, when I'm just creating things in the room. And so that's exactly what you can do with your learning. That whole Mount Shasta experience, it's very similar to that, where you're just asking them. And it's almost like he says you're stretching your mind when you do that. And so the more you do it, the easier it becomes and the more comfortable you get. And so I also have I'm going to send you guys the sheet called Connecting with Your Spirit Guides, and it's with the eyes and through the eyes, and so that you can do some practicing, and then you can see how that's working for you, right?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. And it reminds me of that past memory, because I used to do a lot of work in my sleep, but I haven't really done so since I've come over here to the U.S. and be in this apartment. So yeah. I'm glad for the reminder that I can go there again.
Yeah, and just he says, find that little space.
It's right here. It's actually right here.
Yeah. So without the that you can find that quiet time when I did a lot of learning after I put my kids to bed. Mm-hmm. When they were younger.
Yeah.
Because that was the only time I had, right?
Except that my kids are so super sensitive to me. Like the last time I astral traveled, my older daughter, she was a baby at that time, she also left her body and wanted to come along with me, and I freaked out. I'm like, what are you doing? And then we both came back in. But yeah, it's to get, I'll do that.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that and I don't know which books you've read on the astral body, because there are some books on that.
Okay. I don't think I have any recent ones. It's been
okay, and these are from way back. Mm-hmm. I'll take a look at my library list. There is one that I think is called Astral Projection, and it's written from might have even been the early 1900s,
Nice. I love those.
channeled from, might have even been channeled through Saint Germain. I can't remember who it was channeled through. Anyways, I'll send that information. It's just good reading. And the basic is that, and you could tell me if you're aware of this, is we are attached to our astral through the silver cord.
Yes, I know that.
So the more that we go out,
Mhm.
the stronger it becomes.
Oh,
Okay,
I didn't
so
read that part.
that's the purpose of going out there, is because it strengthens that silver cord. And you always ask for that silver cord, for protection of the silver cord as I go out. And so at night, when you're going to bed, you're putting that platinum bubble around you, and you're filling it with the violet light. And what he says is for me to tell you, is, you know, the slinkies, and I don't know if I mentioned to you before. So imagine you can put all your kids in the slinky, your hubby in the slinky, and you're in your own slinky. And so that might assist in them staying where they are and you going out. Okay. And be specific with Master Saint Germain. Please take me to the edge of the earth, and then specify which halls of learning that you want, and that the silver cord be strengthened and brought back with ease and grace. And the reason you're doing that is because if you are experiencing, when you know how you wake up and you're kind of like, whoa, or you feel like you're falling
Yes, I know that.
that is, you're coming back too fast. And so that's that strengthening of that silver cord.
Got it.
Yeah. So
How would I know the halls of learning? I'm not.
Just think of something that you want to learn.
Okay.
Pick something and say, the halls of psychic development.
Yeah.
Okay. And or even just the halls of learning.
Yeah.
And I would like to learn about blah blah blah. Right. So yeah, so I think we're done here. Okay.
I just realized you validated something that I told Astrid as well. I told her because we're two ends of the spectrum, and so she's like she's the one like with the beginning energy, and like I would get the idea download too. But if she's at the beginning, then I do the end. If she's at the end, I do the beginning, and so we do that role very nicely.
Yes. And that's perfect, because you know, I mean, if you can team up like that, it just makes it so much easier. And you know, they bring their strength, you bring your strength, and whoever else, right? So yes. and he's actually usually way more colorful, like in Path, but he actually only just allowed me to put the violet flame there as a reminder to you to constantly use that. But he color his eyes a bit. And the other thing that I wanted to I'll just hold your eyes up close. He's got very pretty blue eyes. Was that I checked out the glass and the plexiglass and stuff, and I actually keep getting that maybe I want to do a mixed media piece for you guys.
Oh, nice.
So if you're okay with that, because I've wanted to do this, actually what I'm going to call them is living portraits, but they're not really. But they're like, so his shirt would be puffed up with the fabric and some of the things, and then I would have wool in the hair and different things. So if you would allow me to do that, then I would be honored to try those techniques with them. So it may take a bit longer, but it'll get. And that's why I wanted to get the drawings and I will text you them. I'll take a picture and get those sent to you with the other documents and stuff. So do you have any other questions for him?
Is there anything else he wants me to know?
He would actually like you to know that, you're doing an awesome job as a parent. And because sometimes you do, you kind of like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's kind of
Why did I sign up for this?
Well, like, yeah, well, we know, I'm sure if we knew what we knew, we probably wouldn't, most of us would go, I don't want to sign up for this. However, but we would never want to give them back.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But parenting is the most important job ever. And don't forget that you are, there is absolutely nothing wrong with seeking guidance and help about parenting and about like that art therapy and different stuff like that. Because what he wants to tell you is when you do that, you become a conscious parent. You are conscious parenting.
Yes.
And that is so important because there's many parents that aren't doing that. They just, that's where you get the latchkey and the this and the that, is they aren't consciously parenting. They're using excuses to not parent. They don't even know that, but that's what they are. And so I'm proud that you are a conscious parent. You do conscious parenting. So he would send you lots of love and light, to number one, look after yourself so that you can look after your kids.
Thanks.
No, perfect. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. And I get to go to an artist annual general meeting tonight.
Oh, interesting. Nice.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to be vice president again, and I'm not sure I want to do that, but.
Well, you have the ability to delegate that, right? You can seek out from the crowd to say.
Yeah. And actually, this group is really great. I mean, they all participate, and not like the chamber that I'm on, but that's a different story. Anyways, yeah. So my husband's gone to Texas, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of decluttering.
Well,
and art room stuff. So
yeah,
perfect.
And I'm seeing you tomorrow as well, right? I'm seeing.
Yes, Yes, I can. So the time works for me. So great. I will be there.
Awesome. So
okay.
I'll talk about that tomorrow. I don't know. I don't think Lainey might be on the call, but I'll mention that Lainey is there. I already signed up for your drawing.
Yeah.
And the other members who are already in, like I already told them, if it is that they want this, let me know, and then they just we sort out the whole payment thing. So tomorrow they get to see you, and I get to talk about it again with them. Yeah. Yes,
and you can feel free to share, or I can share their drawings or whatever you need. But the other thing too is that I was actually going to tag Lainey and just say, give her my information so she can text me, and then I can set up an appointment. Because here's what's going to happen is once she has the drawing, then she'll be telling other people, and I always find that's the best.
Yeah, well, we got that too here.
Show some samples. Yeah.
Yes. So. I mean, we both know the organic way is the best way to get people, and we don't approach from the other side. So. Well,
and I mean, that's been a challenge too for me, is how do you explain to people what you do so that they actually go, oh, that's really interesting. I think I'd like one. They all go, oh, that's interesting. So.
Sure. I'm not sure if I want that. Excuse me.
Well,
yes.
But because there's an unknownness about it. And I get that.
Yeah, I get it too. But they'll come around. And I told them that they have, because this program is ending at the last week in November, I said you have until then to make up your mind. and to get it at this price point. And for me, because once the program ends, the price is going to rise. That's what I said for you, for your service. So they're having it at this price point at this time.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And
yeah.
Bless you for helping me.
Thank you too. I'm
Okay.
so glad. All right.
Okay.
Then. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, love.